Oh my goodness. Hey everybody, it's Judy Klock, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Middletown, Virginia. It is Thursday, November 14th, I believe, and I am coming to you tonight for another little live tutorial. And today we're going to feature the Humble Home Bundle. And before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that our seasonal sale is going on right now. Let me just come back over here for a minute. You can save 10% on ink pads, refills, markers, Stampin' blends. It doesn't include the bundles, the ink pad bundles, nor does it include like third-party ink pads like Memento or Stays On. Those are not included, but 10% off all ink pads, the refills, the Stampin' Right markers, and the Stampin' blends. 10% on cardstock. So stock up now. If you need something, now is the time to stock up and save. You can save an additional 10% off our bundles, our Stampin' Die bundles or our Stampin' Punchel bundles. This is in the annual catalog. Anything in the 2024, 2025 catalog, you can save on. So the bundles are already 10% off. You can save an additional 10% and 20% off all DSP from the 2024, 2025 catalog. And that sale ends tomorrow, November 15th. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go work with the Humble Home, and we're going to do 2 cute cards, and then we're going to do a cute little like table favor. So we're going to do a simple thank you card, a little bit of a fun fold there, and we're going to use that beautiful, what is this? This is the Season of Elegance. This is the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. So I love little gold accents in there. I'm going to come here and just make a little Christmas card. From our home to yours. Merry Christmas. So something very simple, but kind of pretty. And then we're going to make these little tiny treat holders that will hold a Lind truffle. So we're going to go ahead and do that. These are so easy, so quick. You'll see how quick they're going to go together. Now, don't worry. All of the measurements will be up on my blog tomorrow, and I'll have a link down below in the video description so that you can go ahead and get those measurements. So our card base is Lost Lagoon. I've scored it at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4, and this is our standard 8.5 by 5.5. So 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and we're going to fold it in like an accordion fold. So this is what we call a mountain fold. That's what we call a valley fold. I've got a piece of basic white here for the inside. This is 5 1/4 by 4. I've got 2 pieces of our pretty peacock that are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. We're going to layer those up with 2 pieces of that beautiful Season of Elegance DSP. These are 5 by 1 5/8. And then for that centerpiece, we've got a 3 by 3 inch square of Lost Lagoon, a 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch square of Pretty Peacock, a 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 square of, again, that pretty Season of Elegance DSP. And then I've punched a label with our Labeled with Love punch. This is one of the bundles that'll be on sale because it's in the annual catalog. And we're just going to stamp a little thank you on that. So I've used our Humble Home. It's got a pretty little thank you here. I'm going to stamp that on our label in Pretty Peacock. I tried to have everything out today. But you know me, despite all of my great plans, I usually forget something, but hopefully not tonight. So for those of you who have been following along, my dog Emma had her surgery to repair her torn CCL. She is doing better, but we need to keep her quiet. And of course, because she's feeling better, she wants to be doing more. All right, so we've got our little thank you stamped. I'm going to come in, and I just want to add some Lost Lagoon around the edges with a dauber. I'm just going to come in here with our dauber. I'm just going to kind of add some edges. That just kind of helps cut down on that really white edge. It just, just kind of softens it up a little bit, I think. So nothing real fancy here. This is just a quick little way to add, just another little touch of color. All right, so now we've got that. We've got that. Let's go ahead and put our card together. I told you this one was going to be quick and easy. You know me. I love quick and easy, and I love to let beautiful designer series paper really kind of take the brunt of the work. So I'm going to, if I can pick this stuff up, and I guess I could have put the adhesive on the other side because we're just putting in plain piece of white. But, you know, Christmas is coming. I'm going to have some thank you notes that need to be written. So I always like to have some blank thank you cards on hand. I am going to layer up my designer series paper on my strips of Pretty Peacock. Okay. So again, these are just like 1/4 of an inch shorter all around. Okay, we got that. I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Okay. And you can use like a tape runner like I am, Stampin' Seal Plus. You can use liquid glue, whatever is your preferred method to use. Go ahead and use that. There's no right or wrong way. This is going to be a little crooked, so I just kind of want to fix it a little bit. There we go. That looks better. All right, now I'm going to take these. Now I have the gold is all at one end, so I'm going to flip one of these to kind of balance it out because we're going to open our card and we're going to put one over here and one over here. So I didn't want to have all that pretty gold at the top. I kind of wanted to sort of stagger it. So I'm just going to flip one so the gold is on top and one so the gold is on the bottom. Again, no right or wrong way to do it. It's your card. You can do it however you want. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know so I can give you a little shout out, whoever is out there with me tonight. It's a very rainy day here today, but it's good because we definitely need the rain here in Virginia, but it was just kind of one of those dreary days. It was really hard to kind of get motivated to do anything. It's having a hard time today. All right, so that is what I call the card front. Now we're going to we have our square, so I guess you can imagine what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and layer this up. We're going to put that DSP on the Pretty Peacock square. All right, we're just going to layer that up. All right, now we're going to layer the Pretty Peacock on top of the Lost Lagoon. Woo. And let's see. And again, there's no right or wrong way to put this on. I am going to take some dimensionals. Now, when I close this, I want to make sure that I put my dimensionals kind of only on the left side of this piece. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it there. Okay, kind of see where I got to put my dimensionals. Let me get my dimensionals here. Oh, and brand new thing. I haven't even marked them yet. Usually I put like a line through it with my pen. I haven't even had a chance to do that yet. I'm telling you, I was just not motivated to do much of anything today because of the rain. It's just gray and cold, and it was just like one of those days. All right, let's go ahead and put that on there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take our little stamped sentiment. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. All right. We're going to put this here. Now, I've taken our twine, silver and gold. I forget what it's called, silver and gold thread or twine or whatever. And I'm going to take a glue dot. All right, we're going to take a little glue dot. And we are just going to add this. I'm going to kind of roll this glue dot up just a little bit. I'm going to put it kind of right there. And I'm going to add my little twine bow right there. And then I'm going to come in, and I've got these are the gold textured adhesive dots. I'm going to take these and I'm going to add some of these. I'm going to kind of put maybe one right there. And then because we have this pretty open, I'm going to actually take 2 of the smaller ones. There are 3 sizes. I'm going to take the 2 smaller sizes and just kind of put them right there. And that is our first card. Right? So easy peasy, right? Easy, but it looks a little bit fancy, but it's very easy. Just a couple of little folds and we're good to go. Hey, Joan, how are you? You've had rain for a few days. Yeah, today was our first day of rain, but boy, do we need it. We've been desperate for rain. All right, so for our next card, sorry, this is going to be our Christmas card. All right, and I'm going to, again, I have a piece of Mossy Meadow. This is our standard 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. For the inside, I've got a piece of basic white, 5 1/4 by 4. I've got a piece of cherry cobbler that is 5 1/4 by 4, and another piece of that Season of Elegance DSP that is 5 by 3 3/4. Again, I will have all of these measurements in my blog post, so don't worry about writing them down. This was just a little scrap that I had that I thought might be kind of fun to put in on the inside. So sometimes those little tiny scraps that we can cut off can be used to decorate the inside. I punched a 2 3/8 of an inch circle from our cherry cobbler, and then just some scraps of basic white for our sentiment and the house that we're going to punch. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me find my Mossy Meadow. Here we go. And I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas on the inside. This is a very small Merry Christmas with this set. If you want a bigger greeting on the inside, feel free to use a different set. I'm just sticking with the Humble Home. I just got it and I really like it. I wanted to play with it tonight. Now I'm going to put this on the inside of our card. Okay, here we go. Again, this is a pretty simple card. It's going to go together pretty quickly. But it looks a little bit fancy. So I'm going to take this little tiny strip that I had. This was just one that I cut off when I was trimming down my designer series paper. And of course, this one is clogged. Okay. That's always the way, right? The one you want to use is always going to be clogged. All right. So I like to sometimes just use these little strips and I'm just going to put like little tiny dots of glue. Don't need a ton of it because this kind of does like seep out. So I just want to use a little bit so I don't get like big seepage. And I'm just going to stick it not right on the bottom, but towards the bottom. And that's just going to help make that inside just a wee bit fancy. Okay, you got a little bit of that pretty gold there. So it's all good. Maybe I can try to unclog that one later. Now for the front, we are going to add our cherry cobbler. All right. And again, this is layering up so quickly. Okay. And then we're going to add our Season of Elegance. And then we've got to do some stamping and some punching. So let's go ahead. I love these colors. I love this green. Well, you know me. I love any kind of green, but I just love this. Okay, so I want to come here and I want to stamp on my long scrap of basic white. I'm going to stamp From Our House to Yours. And I'm going to stamp it a little bit close to the right edge. And you'll see why in a minute, but not right at the right edge. Because what I want to do is I want to sort of flag that. This is probably about 1 1/4 inches wide. I want to come back here and I want to flag this edge. So again, this is just another way. So I'm going to cut it sort of down the middle. And then I'm going to come from the corner. I've got to see where I put that. Up there. It wasn't quite in the middle, but it's close enough, I guess. And then we're going to come here and do the same thing. Now you see how we've sort of flagged that edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this so that it sticks out from behind our circle. Okay. So again, I'm just going to add some adhesive. And I'm just going to kind of stick this there. Right? And then I can put this whole thing down on my card front. So I'm going to go a little bit over more. Bear with me. I want to put this a little bit over more, a little bit closer to my sentiment. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, now I'm going to put that down there. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to put this, probably like try to center it on my card. Okay, kind of just like that. All right. Now, we're going to stamp a house on our scrap of basic white. Now, I found it easier to get everything to line up when I stamped the roof first. Let me see if I can articulate that. So I've got our roof here. I'm going to stamp that in early espresso. How many people want to say espresso, right? But it's not. It's espresso. I'm going to stamp that here. Okay. Then I'm going to come in with our basic beige. And I'm going to use the one that looks like bricks. So let me just put that on my, it's a little bit crooked on my stamp. All right, so I'm going to remove that out of the way. I need to use that one more time. Okay, now I can sort of see where my roof line is, and I can stamp my house. Okay, so pretty good. It's a little crooked. My house is going to be a little crooked. And then I'm going to come back in here with the door and window stamp. Okay. All right. The house is going to be just a wee tiny bit crooked, but that's okay. Then I want to come in. One more thing that we're going to do is we want to put that wreath above the door. So I'm going to use our memento for that. I'm going to stamp this in memento. Get some of these stamps out of the way. All right. Okay, and now I'm going to color that in with my blends. I've got my dark mossy meadow and my light cherry cobbler. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to color in the ribbon. And again, because these are our alcohol-based markers, they really go on very well and very quickly, and really just a very light touch. You don't have to push very hard to get that color to come out. I need some new cherry cobblers. Just got new mossy meadows. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of come in here and just color in that wreath. If you wanted to later on, you can go back over it with Wink of Stella. If you wanted to add that little bit of shimmer to it, you can always do that. Okay, but that is it. Now, we've got our Humble Home House Builder punch. And I'm just going to punch out my house, crooked though it may be. And this is going to be, I kind of used a very small piece of paper. So when that happens, here's what you do. I'm going to take a sticky note and I'm going to put it like that so I can have some extra leverage. Put it down this way so I can get that in there. Okay, I promise you it's not this hard to get it in. Okay, there we go. So now I just got to line it up and punch it out. Once I think I have it lined up, that looks pretty good. Okay. And see, that extra little bit of paper allows me to have my leverage. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add some dimensionals. You can take that piece off. You don't have to. It can come off if you want it to. All right. Let us add some dimensionals to this. I got my well-used piece of dimensionals. Oh my goodness. These are giving me a hard time of coming up tonight. Maybe one more. Okay. Sometimes they're more finicky than others. All right, we're going to add our little house. Now let's go ahead and add some gems. All right, again, add as many or as few as you want. Maybe we'll put another little one up here. And that is card number 2. So kind of easy, right? So that was our 2 cards, a simple thank you card, and then our Merry Christmas card. And now we're going to make, this is what I think is the cutest thing of all. It's a little tiny box, and it will hold a Lindor truffle. So I'm using pecan pie. So I've punched out just a plain house that I'm going to use for the back piece. I've got a piece here that we're going to stamp on, but this is our little box part. This is 3 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and I've scored it at 1 inch all around. Okay, so that little centerpiece is 1 1/4 inches. All right, I'm going to just, doesn't really matter which side you do it on. I'm going to come here, and I'm going to come here. I'm going to go and do the opposite side. I'm going to trim right along those 1 inch score lines on each side to that 1 inch score line. Now, I'm going to fold these up. This is where we need our liquid glue again. I think this is one that worked. I'm going to add some here. Okay, and we're going to just kind of punch these up. I'm going to add a little tiny bit more. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more there. So this is like such a fast little craft. So if you're setting a table for the holidays and you want to have like a little, little party favor on your table, this is going to go together so quickly. And I tell you, these Lindor truffles that I bought, these were the peppermint cookie ones. Yeah, they're good. They're really good. I put them in my class packet when I mailed out my November workshop. That's the little treat they got this time, was that chocolate mint peppermint cookie truffle. And I did get to taste a few before I mailed the class. I got to make sure that it's going to be good chocolate. I don't want to send out bad chocolate. Although, has anybody ever had bad chocolate? So here we go. All right. So we've got our little box base. Our truffle is going to fit right in there. Okay, there goes our little truffle. Ooh, fits right in there. Okay, now, see where we glued those? That's where we're going to put our house. So we're going to put one house there, and we're going to stamp one and emboss it. So give me a second to get my embossing stuff ready. That's what I didn't do. I didn't plug in my heat tool. All right, let me plug that in. All right, so here we go. I've got my piece of pecan pie here, just a little scrap. I'm using my embossing buddy. This is to help take out the static and to get good adhesion with our ink and our embossing powder. Okay, so this kind of looks like a little gingerbread house here. I'm just going to kind of stamp it right down there. Okay. I'm going to come in with my embossing toolkit and my white embossing powder. Okay. Now, just going to try to okay. That looks pretty good. It looks like I got powder everywhere where I want it. Let me move this out of harm's way. And then we're going to come in here with our heat tool. And as it starts to get shiny, that's how you know it's set. So I'm hoping it's going to get shiny pretty quickly. You'll see it as soon as it starts to, there it goes. It's getting shiny now. There we go. The gun's got to get a little bit hot. The heat tool's got to get a little bit hot. But once it gets hot, it'll go pretty quickly. And you just kind of want to make sure that you get all of that embossing powder to set. All right, that looks good. Turn that off. Put this out of the way. Okay, and just like we did before, we're just going to punch this out. This is so, I have to say, this is just so cute. I love it. What do you guys think? Okay. So now to finish it up, we are going to put our houses, if I can pick them up. All right. So I'm going to put them on the part where like my seam is to kind of help hide that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. All right. I'm going to put the back house there. And I just kind of put it on the, put it on the table so I had that bottom edge even. I'm just going to hold it there for a minute. When you put it on, make sure that the chimney is on the same side as the house in the front. It should be on the right. Your chimney should be on the right. It's no big deal if you don't match it up, but I just like to have it on the same side. That's just me. All right, and there we go. And that is our little Lindor truffle box. Isn't that just the cutest? I can't wait. I'm going to do these for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to I'm not going to get I might get the Christmas ones, but I'm going to get it maybe like the chocolate, the caramel ones for Thanksgiving, and put those on the Thanksgiving table as a little treat for everyone who's coming to Thanksgiving dinner. So that is it for tonight. We had our 2 cards and our little treat box. Thanks so much for being with me, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you are catching this on replay, please go ahead and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'd like to see where everybody is. Have a great week, and I will be here next week. 2 weeks till 2 weeks till Thanksgiving, folks. I cannot believe that. That blows my mind. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.